In the peaceful village of Amaife, where the red earth shines under the morning sun and the air smells of firewood and mango leaves, two lives were about to cross. A poor boy, a rich girl, and a love that no one saw coming. Chidi lived with his widowed mother in a small mud house. No wealth, no name, just a good heart and strong hands. Every morning he pushed his old bicycle to the stream before going to the farm. Ọma was the daughter of Chief Ugo, the richest man in Amaife, beautiful, educated, untouchable. But deep inside, she was tired of fake smiles and empty riches. She wanted something real. That morning, at the stream, her bucket slipped and rolled away. Chidi picked it up. "Here, this must be yours," he said softly. "Thank you," she replied, smiling. "I didn't notice. I usually come early, before the sun gets hot," he added. "That's smart. Maybe I should start doing the same." Their eyes met, and in that quiet moment, something powerful was born, something neither of them expected. But in Amaife, love between rich and poor is like fire on dry grass. It spreads fast and burns everything around it. Days passed, but that moment at the stream never left their hearts. Chidi kept thinking about Ọma, her smile, her voice, her humble eyes, and Ọma. She couldn't forget how he looked at her, like she was more than just Chief Ugo's daughter. They started meeting more often, sometimes by the stream, other times on the village path, walking quietly under the mango trees, pretending not to know each other when others passed. But love is like fire. You can hide it, but the smoke will show. One quiet afternoon, as they laughed by the stream, Ọma's father's driver saw them. That evening Chief Ugo called her. "Ọma." "Yes, Papa." "Is it true you were seen with that poor boy from Umweze compound?" She paused. "Yes, Papa. His name is Chidi." Silence. "You must stop seeing him," Chief Ugo said. "You're a princess. He has no land, no name, nothing to offer." But Ọma answered with tears in her eyes, "Papa, he gives me peace and treats me like I matter." Chief Ugo's face hardened. "If I see you with him again, I'll disgrace him and his mother in this village." That night, Ọma sneaked out. Chidi was waiting under the palm tree. She ran into his arms. "They want to keep us apart," she whispered. "Let them try," Chidi said. "I'm not letting you go." They stood together, hearts beating against the storm. Their love was growing, but so was the danger. The next morning, Chidi returned home with a heart full of hope, but his mother noticed the change in him. "Who is the girl?" she asked with a tired smile, pounding yam outside their mud house. Chidi hesitated, then said, "Her name is Ọma, Chief Ugo's daughter." The pestle froze mid-air. "Chidi," his mother said slowly, "that man is not one to play with. If he finds out you're close to his daughter, he will not only come for you, he will ruin this family's name." Chidi looked down. "But Mama, I love her." His mother dropped the pestle and sat beside him. "My son, love is sweet, but sometimes love can bring war. Are you ready for that kind of pain?" Meanwhile, in Chief Ugo's compound, Ọma was locked in her room. Her phone was taken, her freedom gone. Her father had placed guards at the gate. She had become a prisoner in her own home. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she stared through the window, hoping to see Chidi walk by. Days passed, no contact, no message. Then one evening, Chidi stood outside her gate in the rain, barefoot and shivering. He stared at the mansion, unsure if she could see him. He didn't move, he just stood, waiting. And from the upstairs window, Ọma saw him. Their eyes met through the curtain. Her heart jumped. She pressed her hands to the glass. He smiled, weakly. That silent moment was louder than words. Love, again, had broken through the wall. The next morning, Chidi's mother sat outside, weaving palm fronds for firewood. She didn't see him return the night before, but she saw the soaked clothes on the line. When Chidi stepped out, she didn't speak right away. Then softly, she said, "You went to see her again, didn't you?" Chidi nodded. His mother looked up. Her eyes were tired but gentle. "My son, I was once like you, young, in love. But love that goes against power is not just love, it becomes war. Chidi knelt before her. Mama, I've never felt this way before. Ọma is not like the others. She sees me. His mother cupped his face, her voice trembling. Then you must protect her. But don't lose yourself or your life, chasing what the gods themselves may not allow. Meanwhile, in Chief Ugo's mansion, Ọma had not eaten in 2 days. Her aunt begged her to take something, but she refused. Why are you punishing yourself? The aunt asked. I am not hungry, Ọma said, staring out the window, but in truth her hunger was for Chidi, for freedom. That night her aunt quietly slipped her a small phone. I was once in love too, she whispered. Make the call. Ọma's fingers shook as she dialed. Chidi answered instantly. I miss you, she said, tears flowing. I'm here, he replied, his voice calm, strong. No matter what they do, I'm not going anywhere. Their voices melted into the night like a quiet promise. But love is never safe where pride stands guard. Ọma was locked in, sitting quietly on her mat as tears fell. Suddenly the door creaked open. It was Aunt Neka, her late mother's younger sister, sneaking in while the guards were distracted. Aunt Neka whispered, Ọma, my dear, are you all right? Ọma teary replied, Auntie, I won't marry that man. My heart belongs to Chidi. Aunt Neka sighed and held her hands. I know, my child. Your father can lock you in, but not your heart. If you need me, I'll help you. Love is not a crime. Ọma hugged her aunt, tears mixing with a bit of hope. That evening, Chidi received a small note from a little boy sent by Aunt Neka. Tonight, behind the old shrine, midnight. Come alone. Chidi's heart raced. It was risky, but he had no choice. At midnight, behind the shrine hidden by bushes, Ọma appeared in a simple wrapper, head covered. They ran into each other's arms. Ọma whispered, Chidi, Papa plans to marry me off to a rich man from another village. Chidi froze. When? In 2 weeks, she replied, voice breaking. Chidi clenched his fists. We can't let that happen. If your father wants to sell your happiness, we must act fast. Ọma asked, What do we do? Chidi looked into her eyes. We'll run away, Ọma. Start a new life where no one can separate us. Suddenly, they heard a snap behind the bushes. Heavy footsteps approached. Who's there? A guard shouted. Chidi quickly pulled Ọma into the shadows, holding her close as the guards searched. After their secret meeting, Ọma couldn't sleep. Her heart raced with fear and hope. The thought of running away with Chidi was both exciting and terrifying. The next morning, Chief Ugo's guard, Okoye, barged into Ọma's room. Your father wants to see you now. Ọma followed, heart pounding. Inside the living room, Chief Ugo sat with 2 unfamiliar, richly dressed men. Ọma, meet Chief Ebuka and his son Obinna. Obinna is the man you'll marry, Chief Ugo announced coldly. Obinna smiled arrogantly. You're even more beautiful than I heard. Oma's stomach turned. Papa, please, I beg you. Chief Ugo slammed the table. Enough. You will marry him and bring honor to this family. Tears filled Oma's eyes as she ran to her room. That night, Aunt Neka sneaked in. My child, are you okay? Ọma crying. They fixed the marriage. A week from now. Aunt Neka held her. Then we must act fast. Do you trust Chidi? With my life, Ọma replied. Tomorrow night, I'll help you escape. Meanwhile, Chidi met his friend Ifeanyi at Umueze compound. Ifeanyi, I need your help. Ọma and I must run away before the marriage. Ifeanyi's eyes widened. Chidi, this is dangerous. I have no choice. Without her, I'm nothing. Ifeanyi placed a hand on his shoulder. I'll stand with you, my brother. The plan was set, but unknown to them, one of Chief Ugo's guards overheard part of the plan. By morning, Chief Ugo was growing suspicious. The storm was coming. Chief Ugo sensed something was wrong. Early that morning, he summoned Okoye. Watch Ọma closely. She's planning something. Yes, sir, Okoye replied. That night, Aunt Neka sneaked into Ọma's room with a small bag. My child, here are clothes, food, and money. You must leave tonight. Ọma trembled. Auntie, I'm scared. Fear is normal, but love gives courage. Be strong. Outside, Chidi and Ifeanyi waited on the village path under the full moon. Chidi whispered. Tonight changes everything. But Okoye had followed Aunt Neka earlier. Guards were already in position. At midnight, Aunt Neka led Oma through a hidden gate. Suddenly, a voice shouted, "Who goes there?" Guards rushed out. Aunt Neka pushed Oma. "Run!" Oma ran fast, heart pounding. Chidi saw her and ran toward her. Guards chased behind. Grabbing her hand, Chidi shouted, "Run!" Ifeanyi threw stones to distract the guards. "They went that way," one shouted. Breathing heavily, Chidi and Oma hid deep in the bush, holding each other. "Oma, are you all right?" Chidi asked. "Yes, but Auntie, I left her behind," Oma cried. "We'll come back. First, we must escape." They moved toward the river path. A small canoe waited, arranged by Ifeanyi. Back at Chief Ugo's house, Okoye returned. "Sir, they escaped." Chief Ugo's eyes burned with rage. "Find them. Search everywhere." As dawn approached, Chidi and Oma paddled silently across the river. The soft splash of water was the only sound breaking the stillness. Oma leaned on Chidi's shoulder, whispering, "Chidi, where will we go?" Chidi, eyes filled with determination, replied, "There's a small town across the river. My mother's distant cousin lives there. We'll start afresh." By morning they reached safely. Mama Agatha, a kind widow, welcomed them warmly. "My children, you are safe here, but stay hidden. Word travels fast." Back in Amaife, Chief Ugo was furious. "I want them found," he shouted. Chief Ebuka added, "You promised my son a wife. Handle this embarrassment." Chief Ugo's jaw tightened. "I will handle it." Weeks passed. Chidi found small work, while Oma helped Mama Agatha at her food stall. Their love grew stronger, but danger still lurked. One afternoon at the market, Oma heard a familiar voice behind her. "Okoye." Her heart raced. She lowered her headscarf and hurried away through the crowd, but Okoye had caught a glimpse. "That looks like her," he whispered. "Follow her." Oma slipped into a shop, hiding behind baskets. The guards searched but couldn't find her. That evening, Oma returned home, pale and shaking. "Chidi, they saw me." Chidi grew tense. "We must leave again. They won't stop." But unknown to them, Okoye had confirmed their location and already sent word to Chief Ugo. The net was closing in. 2 days later, Chief Ugo gathered his men. "This time, no mistakes. Bring my daughter back. If the boy resists, finish him." Okoye led 6 armed men to the town, where Chidi and Oma hid. That night, as the wind howled, Okoye arrived quietly. A spy had shown them the house. At midnight, loud banging hit Mama Agatha's door. "Open up, you're surrounded," Okoye shouted. Mama Agatha urged, "Quick, through the back door." Chidi grabbed Oma's hand, and they ran into the darkness. A guard spotted them. "There they are." The chase began. Suddenly, a guard grabbed Oma's arm. "Got you." "Let her go," Chidi shouted, punching the guard, but more guards surrounded them. Outnumbered, Chidi stood firm. Okoye stepped forward. "You can't run forever." Chidi pleaded, "Please, let her go." Okoye signaled his men. They seized both. As they were dragged away, Oma screamed, "Chidi, I won't let them separate us." The next morning in Amaife, Chief Ugo faced them. "You're foolish to steal my daughter. You'll marry Obina in 3 days. Refuse, and I'll destroy him." Oma cried. Chidi whispered, "Oma, no matter what happens, you are my love, my life." The storm was not over. 3 days remained before Oma's forced wedding. The village square buzzed with activity. Rich fabrics were displayed, musicians were arriving, and food was already boiling in large pots. Villagers danced and laughed, as if the wedding day had already come. Yet deep within her heart, Oma felt nothing but sorrow. In the midnight hours, just before dawn, Aunt Neka quietly sneaked out with Oma. They met Chidi briefly near the edge of the compound, hidden in darkness. After bribing the guard watching over Chidi's cell, Chidi and Oma rushed to embrace each other, but Aunt Neka quickly stopped them. "Stop! We don't have time," she whispered sharply. "There is a plan," she said. "A strong one. It won't fail us." Oma held onto her arm, her voice trembling. "Auntie, are you sure? We won't be caught?" Aunt Neka looked into her eyes. "Not this time. I promise." Chidi didn't ask any questions. He trusted her completely. Whatever the plan was, He believed in it with his whole heart. Moments later, they slipped quietly into the shadows. Chidi returned to his cell just before sunrise, acting as if nothing had happened. But unknown to them, Okoye had been watching. From the shadows, he narrowed his eyes and whispered to two nearby guards, "Let them think they're clever. Let them try to run. We'll be waiting." He believed an escape had just begun, unaware that what he witnessed was no escape at all. The real plan had only just begun, hidden even from the sharpest eyes. The morning of the wedding had arrived. Amaife village was glowing with decoration. Drummers beat their drums. Women danced in bright wrappers. The compound of Chief Ugo was filled with guests, food, gifts, and excitement. But something was wrong. The guards, all 6 of them, were still asleep, snoring heavily beside empty food plates. Chief Ugo stormed out of his hut. "Where are the guards?" he roared. Servants rushed out. "Sir, they're still sleeping, and we can't wake them." A cold chill ran down Chief Ugo's spine. He hurried to Oma's hut. She was gone. So was Aunt Neka. His voice thundered across the compound. "Search everywhere! Block the roads! Find them!" But it was too late. Earlier that night, as planned, Aunt Neka had added sleeping herbs to the guards' food. While they were knocked into deep sleep, Chidi was freed quietly, and Ifeanyi stood by with a boat at the riverbank. They didn't just take Oma, they also took Chidi's mother. Mama Agatha wept as she watched them leave. "Go, my children. Be safe. Start a new life." With only the stars as their witness, the boat slipped away into the river's arms, heading far away from Amaife. Days passed, weeks, then months. In a distant town, far from anyone who knew them, they started again. Chidi's mother began a foodstuff business in the market. Aunt Neka opened a small food joint. Chidi and Ifeanyi did small jobs to survive, bricklaying, washing cars, loading goods. But fate was not done with them. Life was peaceful, but home was never forgotten. Some nights, Oma sat by the window, humming the lullabies her mother used to sing. Her voice, soft and slow, filled the quiet house. Chidi always noticed. He'd walk over, take her hand, and sit beside her. No words, just silence full of memories. "I miss home," Oma whispered. Chidi nodded. "Me too. One day we'll return, when the time is right." Back in Amaife, Chief Ugo looked older. His proud stance was gone. He now sat alone beneath the old ube tree, silent and distant. Villagers whispered as they passed. Some pitied him, others called it karma. But Ugo didn't care. His voice often trembled as he spoke to himself. "I chased her away, my only child, my jewel." He had sent men far and wide, but all came back empty. Meanwhile, Chidi and Ifeanyi had become respected business owners. Their shops grew, their names known in nearby cities. When asked how they made it, Chidi always smiled and replied, "Grace and love." Oma and Aunt Neka's restaurant was also growing. Mama Chidi's food stall had turned into a full mini-market. Her laughter returned, louder than ever. The family had healed. Their twins, Obieze and Adaeze, filled the yard with laughter. The past was behind, but not forgotten. One evening, sitting under the stars, Oma asked softly, "Do you think Papa still remembers me?" Chidi held her close and said, "Every single day. Because even after all the pain, some hearts never stop waiting for home." One day, Chidi helped a stranger push his broken-down car. That man turned out to be a wealthy car parts dealer. "I've been watching from afar for quite some time now." "You're indeed very hard-working," the man said. "Come work with me. I'll teach you this business." From that day forward, their lives began to change. Chidi and Ifeanyi learned fast. They showed loyalty, humility, and wisdom. In just a few months, they became trusted hands in the business. Oma, now free and safe, supported them with all her heart. She joined Aunt Neka in the small restaurant business they had started in their new town. Mama Chidi's foodstuff stall also began to grow, slowly becoming the most popular among locals. As time passed, the family began to truly settle. They had escaped danger, and now they embraced peace. Within 2 years, Chidi and Ifeanyi opened their first car parts shop. It was small, but it was theirs, and people trusted them. Soon after, they opened another branch in the next town. Business was booming. Their reputation grew with it. By the 4th year, they were already known as one of the biggest young entrepreneurs in that region. With success came joy. Chidi and Ọma, who had already taken a secret oath of love, got officially married in a simple ceremony. It wasn't grand, but it was pure. And then the biggest blessing arrived. Twins, a boy and a girl, Obieze and Adaeze. Their laughter filled the new house. The pain of the past began to fade. Back in Amaife, no day that passed, Chief Ugo don't stare in Oma's childhood picture. His once proud eyes had grown dim with regret. He would walk to the village shrine, praying to the gods and into the wind, hoping his daughter would somehow hear his sorrow. One day in Amaife market, a young trader from a faraway town arrived with rare car parts. While chatting with an elder, he mentioned the names Chidi and Ifeanyi. "Those boys run the biggest car parts chain in our region," he said. Chief Ugo, nearby, overheard. His heart skipped. "Did you say Chidi?" he asked. The trader turned. "Yes, sir. Tall and dark. His wife is elegant, wise, soft-spoken." Chief Ugo's hands trembled. "Ọma," he whispered, "that's my daughter, and the boy I once called a nobody." That same week, Chief Ugo left with a small convoy. His heart was restless. Will she forgive me? In their new town, Ọma was in the kitchen when she heard engines. Chidi stepped outside. A convoy had parked at their gate. The car door opened, and out stepped Chief Ugo. He looked older, smaller, but Ọma recognized those eyes. "My daughter," he said, falling to his knees. "Forgive me. I was blind. I lost my only light." Tears filled Oma's eyes. Mama Chidi came out and gently touched his shoulder. Chidi helped him up. "Any father who seeks forgiveness deserves a second chance," he said. Ọma nodded softly. "We missed you, Papa." "I missed you too, my princess," Chief Ugo replied. "I never stopped loving you." That day, the household was filled with joy and healing. Amaife had never seen anything like it. The village square pulsed with music, dance, and bright colors. Elders sat in front, draped in flowing isiagu. Women tied bold gele. Ọma and Chidi had returned, not in shame but in celebration. It was their traditional Igba Enku wedding. Chief Ugo stood proudly at the center. He had slaughtered goats and cows. For him, this was more than a wedding. It was redemption. Ọma appeared in a red wrapper, her body adorned with coral beads. She danced, graceful and glowing, as the crowd erupted in joy. With a calabash of palm wine in hand, she searched the crowd and knelt before Chidi. Chidi smiled, sipped, and the crowd roared. Their love had endured storms, rejection, and pain. But here they stood, united. Ifeanyi, now best man, laughed beside them. Mama Chidi couldn't stop dancing. Aunt Neka wept and danced with pride. Even elders who once doubted them now raised their cups. This was no ordinary wedding. It was the loudest love story Amaife had ever witnessed. Moral lessons. 1. Love is not always easy, but when it is true, it finds a way. 2. Parents must learn to listen to the hearts of their children. Controlling love only leads to pain. 3. Never underestimate small beginnings. From fleeing danger, they built an empire. 4. Loyalty, patience, and courage are the pillars of lasting relationships. 5. When women support each other, like Aunt Neka did, miracles happen. Thank you for following this journey. If this story touched your heart, like and subscribe for more powerful African love stories.